Books, uniforms, proper routine attendance and tests were never a part of the Indian education system. As time passed, things changed and a modernized process of education began. The tiring routine of packing our backpacks, wearing uniform and running for the bus for school would not have been possible on Indian culture if the British have never came to India. From a journey of learning a foreign language to attending classes online, the variation in the Indian education system has changed up to a great extent. One can easily complete a course and get certificates in his or her device nowadays. But do you know how these changes took place? Let us go through how the education system worked during the British rule, or you can say how it rather evolved during the British Raj. Promotion of Indian learning in place of Western learning. In the 18th century, a British linguist came to India. His name was William Jones. He worked as a junior judge of the Supreme Court at Calcutta. He studied Greek and Latin in Oxford, and other than that, he knew French and Arabic. During his times in Calcutta, he started to take interests in Sanskrit language, and with time and help from the local Pandits, he soon began to study ancient Indian texts on philosophy, arithmetics, medicines, science, and other subjects. Along with him, a few other linguists like Henry Thomas Colebrook and Nathaniel Hallhead also took interest in the Indian and Persian language. They founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal and started a journal, Asiatic Researches. With the support of the British administration in 1783, they set up institutions for the locals, believing that this would help them win the heart of the Indians. They also believed that the people of the country should learn their own language, like Sanskrit and Persian, instead of totally alien language, which will help the people to discover their heritage and understand the lost glory of their past. Survey of William Adams. Many discussions took place, and then the company set up a madrasa in 1781 in Calcutta for promoting Arabic language, and the Hindu language in Banaras in 1791 for promoting Sanskrit language. After years, in 1830, the company appointed a Scottish missionary, William Adams, to survey on the progress on education in vernacular schools. The outcome of the survey soon changed the mind of the officials. The education system was flexible in vernacular schools. There were no fee, no printed books, no separate classrooms or school buildings, no regular timetable or annual exams. The conditions of the classes were suited as per the locals. If the student was from a rich family, he would have to pay much fee than the student belonging from a poor family. During the harvest seasons, there were no classes as the children took part in harvesting to help their family for gathering crops and storing them. Many officials criticized this process of education, but the process of education continued till 1854 until the company decided to change the whole education policy once and for all. English Education Act of 1835. During the beginning of the 19th century, several British officials began to criticize the Orientalist vision of learning. One such official was James Mill. He said that the British must not encourage the natives to learn what they please. Instead, they must aim to educate, to teach themselves useful and practical facts. The attack on Orientalists became much sharper in 1830s when Thomas Babington Macaulay criticized the Indian way of learning. According to him, India was an uncivilized country and there was no comparison of Western learning with that of Eastern learning. He then proposed that teaching English would be a way to civilize the Indians and change their lives, values, and culture. Keeping this thing in mind and the 1830 William Adams survey, the company decided to stop promotion of the Calcutta Madrasa and Banaras Sanskrit College and introduced the English Education Act of 1835. Wood's Dispatch. Not after a long time, in 1854, the Court of Directors of the East India Company in London sent an educational dispatch to the Governor General of India. The Governor General of India at that time was James Andrew Bourne Ramsay, who is also popularly known as Lord Dalhousie. This dispatch was issued by Charles Wood, who was the president of the Board of Control of the company. Hence, this dispatch came to be known as the Wood's Dispatch. Wood's Dispatch was basically the education policy which was to be followed in India during the British Raj. Several measures were introduced by the company following the dispatch of 1854, such as 1. Education departments of the government were set up. Universities were established in Calcutta, Madras and Bombay. Routines were imposed in education system, and pathshalas which accepted these policies and rules were supported by the government through grants and aids. With these new policies declared by the company, few Indians also became eager to learn as per the British rules and regulations. And from the beginning of the 19th century, many Indian thinkers talked about the need for a wide spread of education. They supported to the view that Western education would help modernize India. Soon after that, they urged the British to open new schools, colleges and universities and also spend more money on education. This is how the whole education system changed in India. What do you guys think of the modern education system of India? Or was it better to keep the policies as it was before the Wood's Dispatch? Or is there any improvement needed in today's way of teaching? If so, how? Do share your thoughts and comment below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel for more upcoming videos.